Aloha! It's 365 Real Estate Minute.
With Eric and Julie Zemelis from Real Broker, and behind us is our new listing.
So today, everybody always does the why should you buy this house kind of a thing. Usually it's a walkthrough, something like that. So we're going to do it a little bit differently because with every house, there's the pros of the house and there's the cons of the house. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with the house. It just means you need to know these pros and cons. So we thought we'd kind of dive in a little bit to give you an example of how that might be to get a full picture of it and see if it's right for you.
And then we've also learned sometimes someone's pros are not somebody else's pros or cons.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the things that we joke about sometimes is the Coqui frog experience. And some people love the sound of Coqui frogs and some people are crazy about it. So we will tell you some of the fun things that we like about this house and some things you might not like, but other people might. Right now, we're sitting in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Lokahi Makai, and this house is almost 1,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has a beautiful backyard. It's completely enclosed in a beautiful HOA-approved fence. A few things that we point out about this house when people walk in to view it is the Acacia hardwood floors. It is a beautiful addition to this house.
That's a pro, definitely good floors.
Yeah. In fact, one thing about the floors that unlike like luxury vinyl flooring, these are going to last a long time. And also, if you have dogs or high traffic, these floors are going to last. Also, this house was built in 2010, so there has some updated appliances, and the kitchen is really cool. It has a concrete countertop. Again, some people say yes, no. There's also a countertop that's made out of concrete in the bathroom, and it's a really pretty green color. Also, the way that this house is laid out, the primary bedroom is on one side of the house, and the other 2 bedrooms are on the other side, so that way it has a nice separation for privacy. So you can actually have adult people living here in roommate situations or like kids on one side, parents on the other. But also it has a beautiful open the door, walk right out into the backyard of the primary bedroom. And also from the front yard, you can see the ocean. So if you wanted to build a pergola or some type of like, little bar thing, you can look out. Also what's nice about that bedroom is the fact that it has a beautiful walk-in closet. If you love a 12-foot walk-in closet, like a lot of women do, it is a great closet. Also, one thing I like about what's happening in the backyard on the right is the fact that the foliage on both sides of the fence is creating a nice privacy experience. And you could put a hot tub back there because there is an outdoor shower in the backyard. Also, if you have pets, completely enclosed backyard, so they are safe. And speaking of safe, this neighborhood is just super awesome safe, and it's quiet, and it's really known for the friendliness of being able to walk and play and walk your dogs. And also in the back bedrooms, each of the bedrooms has a beautiful large window with like plenty of light coming in. And then the garage actually has a workout studio in it. So if you were to purchase this house, you could have all the workout equipment with the house. And also the washing machine and dryer back in the garage are updated. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're beautiful and they're big.
Wow, Julie, you did a great job on that. I'm like, I'll take it. That's only the beginning of this video. Now let's kind of get into depth about all the different stuff. I thought we'd just kind of, get a lay of the land of what the house is. Now let's talk about the neighborhood, the house, and all those. Let's just talk about the neighborhood. That's Lokahi Makai, and it has there are 2 kind of racetrack ovals. Layout of the streets is what they are, and it is a HOA subdivision, but the streets are public.
Right.
And they've done a really good job of planting areas along that look really good. They've got a park here that also is really nice, and they do a good job of keeping up. Like they've got all the rocks on the side of the street. All looks very good.
Now the HOA is actually they just went up a little bit, and now they're $80 a month, and that makes sure that obviously things are kept all in the thing. And if you don't like an overbearing HOA, the people that we have purchased, that we sold a home here, say that that's not the case. You do need to have things set up to the design committee if you're going to do anything. It can be seen from outside the house.
No, yeah. So I was just going to say, so an HOA could be a pro because you can have people that make sure that there's not crazy things happening in your neighborhood.
Yeah, people don't like working on cars
because then they kind of tell you what you can and can't do.
Right. There's a design committee for deciding what you're going to do with your landscaping.
So
welcome to HOAs.
Okay, so I got another one then, close to the airport, which is good. But we're also at 400-foot elevation here. But we're on the drier side of it. Kona is drier towards the north and wetter towards the south. So by being here, this this is a dry community, so you have to make sure you water your grass, and you have to do all of these things to make sure things grow. So it's more of an arid, almost, I'd say almost a little desert-like, without going too far desert. And so, is that a pro? Right? Because some people like it because they don't have to worry about things. Where we're down south, is that weeds grow like crazy and everything grows, and you're always at a constant battle to fight things back.
And we have monstera all over the place that brings the coqui frogs in. Where it's drier down here, so they have less problems with coqui frogs. In fact, some of our neighbors are talking about that they can't hear it. But another neighbor that we sold a house to here as well says there's one or two. But one thing though too is that this subdivision backs up to state land, and a con could be that some of the goats come in into the subdivision and eat the landscaping. They are working on that, but that's something we, disclosure there.
So and then okay, so let's talk about this house with the goats. This house is situated on the inner side of that circle, so they're not backing up there. So we haven't heard that they actually go too far into the neighborhood.
Right, so it's not a problem like here on this house, but further into, that's if you're talking about living in this neighborhood in general.
Yeah, and I've seen them out on the street right in front of where the car's parked. I've seen them there.
Also, because it is more arid, it is warmer. And so this house actually has a split air conditioning system in it. And right now we're sitting at about like 70 degrees.
It's 78. So it's
No, it's like...
Well, it's cold.
We're
right. The air conditioning is blowing on us. So that definitely makes sense.
So Eric and I are up at a little bit higher elevation, and we don't have air conditioning, and we save a lot more money in our bills.
So just to give you guys a little a thought, this is a split system air conditioner, and it runs depending on how hard you run it, how often you run it, but somewhere between $200 and $300 a month to run this particular system on top of your regular electricity bill. So that could be a con by living here, is the fact that you have to have AC. But if you like it a little warmer, this is a great place. And remember, it's not it's not hot all the time. Once we hit December, December through May starts
July. It's probably so you're going to have probably going to want to use your AC definitely in August, September, and October, and
that's a little bit of November.
But also some people, like when Eric and I lived in a hot environment down at Honokohau Resort and there was no AC, you just turn the fans on and the wind blows. You open the front door, the side door, and you've got a breeze. There's a thing. But I just wanted to give you the thing that air conditioning can be expensive anywhere on this island. And so if you are the person that just has to be in a 68-degree controlled experience, you're going to pay for that. But they can make it happen because they have air conditioning here. When we moved to Keauhou, I was not prepared for everything sitting on a hill.
Yeah.
Everything on the hill. Here, literally, if you are a runner, a skater, a biker, literally you have the opportunity to bike around this entire neighborhood.
It is a very gradual hill.
Yes,
That's what it is.
and so in fact, we have an elderly person that we sold a house to, and she's able to use these great sidewalks to walk everywhere, and it's lit because it's got the lighting. Where again, like in parts of Keauhou, there's no sidewalks. I mean, there's sidewalks, but there's no overhead lighting. But it's all the underground electricity wires and stuff make it so that it's really clear, and that you get a clear view of the sky and the ocean.
Okay, so one more thing about this neighborhood. What's also interesting is that this neighborhood was all constructed from essentially one manufacturer and things like that. So it kind of has a uniform feel to it. One thing that doesn't happen when you don't have that is that each house was built at a different time in a different place. So you might have 10 years between the houses being built in the different styles. So it's Kona in general has a very unique and unusual architecture throughout the different neighborhoods, and this one is very consistent. And so it's is a pro. Do you like
that? Some people don't like
that
cookie cutter neighborhoods.
On top of
and there's enough design style in this neighborhood that not everything looks the same. Hey, so I'm so happy to have our clients, Robert and Allison Hampson, who we sold them a house just up the street, come in today to look at this beautiful house. And I was asking them, why do they love this neighborhood? So, Allison, you start. What is the thing that you just think this is the best neighborhood to have moved into?
It's quiet. It's always quiet. That's really nice. And it's really safe.
Right.
So we have a daughter, 9-year-old, and she's able to go around and play with her friends and ride their bikes and just kind of be kids here. And it feels
because it's a flat street experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so having a 9-year-old and going to school and all the activities, does this neighborhood also kind of like let you get to those places a little bit faster?
Yeah, it's super central. to, if we want to go down to Costco, we got about 10 minutes. If we want to go down to Kua Bay, we have about 15 minutes. Airport's literally right across the road and takes us like 5 minutes to get to the airport. So it's super convenient when you're going out of town. You can use an Uber and you're right there and you just leave your cars at your house.
There you go. And then Robert, you have a boat. That was one of the reasons why you love this neighborhood. Tell them about what, how you get around for entertainment around here too.
Yeah, well, one thing I like about this location is I'm about 15 minutes from Honokohau Harbor. So it's just close, it's convenient. If I want to bring my boat to the house to work on it, I can pull it up in the driveway. It's close to where I buy ice. It's just a great location. It's on the north end of Kona, so I don't have to go through all that Kuakini traffic. There's a 4-lane highway out here that goes straight to the harbor, straight to town, straight to Costco for gas. I mean, we looked for a house in this area just for those reasons.
There you go. Okay, so not as much traffic as going north, right?
Out of the hustle and bustle, but still close to all the conveniences.
Right. And then what do you guys think about the weather pattern down here?
I'd say it's very pleasant all the time. When we get the high wind warnings and all that stuff, it usually stays very calm here. We do get wind occasionally. We get some rain occasionally, usually only in the afternoons, but it can be raining everywhere else in Kona, and here we can have blue sky. It's probably 5 degrees cooler than right down at the water. So it gives you a little bit of a break and you get that afternoon breeze. So it's just very pleasant. It makes living easy.
There you go. And in terms of, because you guys now have been here for about almost about 18 months, about that long. Are you glad that you bought here?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes we learned about this, that some people continue to look even after they buy and think, should I have chosen something else? It seems that you guys have actually said, this is my home for as long as it needs to be, right?
I haven't regretted it for 1 second. It's perfect. It's perfect for us and our family. I mean, the way my daughter can go play with her friends and we can let her go by herself to go a couple houses down to go play and not have to worry. There's sidewalks, so it's safe, so she doesn't have to walk on the street. And like I say, it's close to everything that we do in our life. This is the best location because it's kind of right in the middle of all of it.
There you go. And people wave to you here.
People wave, yeah. It's rare to be driving in and out of the neighborhood. If you see somebody walking, they'll wave at you and you wave back, and it's just, everybody's super friendly and everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to live.
There you go. So a neighborhood with aloha. Thank you, guys.
Now that we've talked about the neighborhood, let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of the house.
The good news about this house, though, is that when we decide to help somebody list a house, is that we ask them to get a property inspection ahead of time. So we got the property inspection for this house, and it came out pretty clean. So we're not going to say, hey, it needs a new roof or anything. He did a great job of keeping this house maintained. So I'd say that the pro is the fact that if this house sells to somebody, they're not going to have to do a lot of other things to it.
Yep.
The cons are that there are a couple things with the house that might need a little bit of your special touches.
So, let's go back. This house was built in 2010, right? So, and it is an original house, so therefore you would have, what happens with an original house. But some people like it. A good example of that, it has hardwood floors. Today, I don't know if everybody would put hardwood floors. Maybe they would put, the luxury vinyl instead because it's a more durable product for water and things like that. Yeah. But there's something nice about having real hardwood floors versus doing it on top.
That's what we could do. Okay, cool. Well, what do you like about it? Well, I think this is the truth. So also, I did have somebody come in and say, oh, it's only 1,400 square feet. Again, if you're looking for a 2,000 square foot house because you're trying to put all your stuff that you brought over from the mainland, it might be a little small. But if you're downsizing or you're just starting, 1,400 square feet is a great layout.
So I got a little funny story about that. So as we've held this open house, we're in an open house right now. It's kind of the end of the open house. That's why we're doing this video. And we've had, I'm going to count, at least 4 neighbors have come by to check out the house, which is, to be expected, right? You want to see what's around and see what your house is worth.
Yeah, how it stacks up.
And 3 of them have told me, oh my gosh, when I moved, they all moved from the mainland to here, and they all downsized. One had a 3,400 square foot house, one had a 2,500 square foot, and I forgot what the third one had. And they all said it was for them to go from such a large house to a 1,400, 1,300, 1,200 square feet. They kind of vary in the neighborhood. That it was really challenging. You know what I mean? And she's like, I had too much stuff even when I came here, and even us when we moved over, we brought over too much stuff, is what it is.
Yeah,
so that's
this one forces you to think twice about what you're going to bring over a little bit. But still, you know what though? Now that I'm getting older, I don't want to clean a 2,000 square foot house, and I certainly don't want to cool it down either, because that costs money. So I would say that this house is almost a perfect size for just being able to control the house in terms of cleaning and air conditioning, and also, you know, it's easy to maintain. The landscaping is pretty easy. The house is pretty easy. So, you know, there's going, if you really want to go nuts with, like, you know, an acre of land, or if you really want to go crazy with 3,000 square feet, this house probably isn't for you. But definitely, if you're looking for something, it's manageable.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, so think about that too when you're thinking about moving to Hawaii, about how much space do you really need? And also, when they talk about Hawaii, about, you know, living outdoors more than indoors, you can save money by getting a smaller house because you're planning on being outside more. And what's nice about this house too, it does have a large yard, and you could entertain out there, and you'd probably put at least 40 people out in that backyard.
That's right. My wife's always ready for the party.
Having a party.
We've had quite a few parties in our
You guys, we used to have a house that was about 1,200 square feet in Sunnyvale.
Yeah.
And I had raucous, like, Christmas parties.
Yeah, no,
lots of people. So
definitely. And we lived in a condominium, and in the summer there were not that many people there, so it was okay that we had a couple. We had a space that we could have a party there, and our house was 800 square feet, and I think we had 35 people over there one time. So it just shows it's not the size of the house that makes it happen.
Right, it's a community. And speaking of community, that's another thing I love about this neighborhood.
Yeah.
That our neighbor friends say that everyone's so friendly to one another that you actually get a chance to get to know your neighbors.
Right.
Now, again, if you don't like to get to know your neighbors, this might not be the neighborhood. There's places all over Kona that you have a half an acre lot, you are way out up on the mountain, you can be on a coffee farm. So again, there's a butt for every seat. But what I really love about this house is the price. There are very few homes in West Hawaii in general that are under $1 million and don't need to be completely gutted and renovated. And this house has it all done already, and it's less than $1 million.
Okay. I can't think of anything negative to say about that. It's true. No, Julie's got a point. That's on the Big Island, particularly here in Kona, that's sort of the cutoff point for good houses is roughly around $1 million, and it's right there. And the neighborhood, the house, everything like that is good, and it hits that underneath that mark, and it makes it. I'm not saying affordable at all, but that's where the cutoff point is for a reasonable house, for sure.
Right, and also don't forget too, if you're watching this in fall of 2024. That the interest rates aren't going to get too much better, and but the prices will probably go up a little bit. There is a lull in the market right now. It's fall, and they're expecting a more busy spring market. So these kinds of houses give you a chance to come and look around, take a little bit of time. But we are able to sit in this house and have this conversation with you because we don't have 1 million people making offers on this house, which gives buyers an opportunity to actually get a better deal. So if it's time for you to think about a house and you want to buy one, bring an offer, and also it's a good time to go out there and look for a home. Aloha, and if you have questions about this house, we'll drop all the information below in the MLS number. And also, if you were thinking about buying or selling, I think that we do a damn good job with marketing and also working with our buyers and sellers, and our testimonials say it all.
Yes, definitely. And we're good at talking about things, as you can see. It's
So
kind of like we go on the YouTube a little bit or something like that,
Yeah. So again, you can have your home featured on our channel too if you give us a call if you want to sell your house. But get a hold of us, and all of our contact information is in the description, and hope we can help you too.
All right, that we say.
Aloha.